Hey, did you hear about that Miata Hunter that Toyota's probably building? Yeah, but aren't those all just rumors? Well, yes, but if major news outlets said it, it must be true. No, it has to be right, and it would totally come to the United States if it were true. All right, let's talk about this supposed Miata killer. Hey guys, huge thanks to Factor for sponsoring today's video. Factor makes meeting your nutritional goals easier than ever by delivering fresh, never frozen, dietitian approved meals right to your doorstep. And one of my favorite things about Factor is that it keeps kitchen time to a minimum. Factor meals are ready in 2 minutes. No shopping, no prepping, or cooking, or cleaning up. And they have a little bit of everything for your lifestyle. You can choose from 6 menu preferences to help you manage calories, maximize protein intake, avoid meat, or simply eat well balanced. I love Factor because I travel so much and I'm always driving or flying somewhere, so when I get back home, I don't need to go to the grocery store as much, and I can just literally put it in for 2 minutes and have something absolutely delicious to eat with no cleanup. And Factor has so many options to keep my fridge well stocked. Even smoothies and fruit juices, which are perfect for snacking. Head to factor75.com or click the link below and use the code ThatDudeinBlue50 to get 50% off your first Factor box and 20% off your next month of orders. That's code ThatDudeinBlue50 at factor75.com to get 50% off your first box and 20% off your next month of orders. So Toyota might be building a major rival to the Mazda Miata. I say might because it seems like half the internet has already decided that it's going to happen no matter what. So yes, I'm late to the party on this one, but I really wanted to think about this car in context of how it would affect the industry in this way, or if there's even a logistical reason to build it. Well, I talked a few months ago about the Toyota MR2 possibly coming back, and that video has aged like expired milk. It was a completely fun, speculative video, almost like an alternate history timeline. I basically gave theories of what Toyota's next sports car might be and what I would like to see out of it if it existed. Yeah, well, it seems to be that this might be the more accurate representation of what the rumors said. But that's okay, because the industry changes practically every day, and rumors are rumors. For example, there was rumors of a 4-door Mustang, and there was also rumors of an electric Mustang. Then I proceeded to get an email from Ford Motor Company to say, hey David, we'd absolutely love you to come see the 4-door Mustang. Naturally, I was really stoked because I was like, oh man, maybe we'll get something like the Ford Falcon that was discontinued in Australia. Maybe Coyote powered or something along those lines. Well, come to find out, it was the 4-door Mustang, and it was also the electric Mustang that were 2 different rumors combined into one, which ended up being the Mach-E. Fun fact, aside from the Mustang name, I actually found the Mach-E to be a very good car when it comes to the EV market. I drove Von Gittin Jr.'s RTR version, and I actually had a really good time with it. I just still need to edit that video. It's been a while, and at the same time, I know people are very indecisive about EVs on this channel, so I just have kind of put it off, to be honest. But the world went crazy about the Mach-E until it got tired and gave up. But that's a perfect example of 2 different rumors actually being combined into one. That's the context. But the real reason you're here is probably because of this. The concept car known as the SFR might be greenlit into production. And once again, I'm doing this merely for fun. In an alternate timeline, let's talk about if the SFR was put into production. By the way, it means small front engine. That's what SFR means. So I guess thankfully they're short and to the point. This car was unveiled almost 10 years ago in 2015 at the Tokyo Auto Show. And it was just kind of a fun design thing to say, look, if we made a 2-door sports car again, this is maybe something we would build. This is pre-GR86. This is during the FRS era. And this is also before the Mark V Supra was fully developed. So at the time, it was exciting to see Toyota build something sporty again in general. And in theory, nowadays, it would use probably something along the lines of the Kia Corolla's engine, the 3-cylinder turbo engine, which I think would be the perfect match for a small 2-door sports car. I mean, that sounds like a blast. The Kia Corolla is fantastic. The GR Yaris is also fantastic, which I do have a video about that. Huge thanks to Toyota for lending me one of those over in Europe. You'll see that pretty soon. And at the same time, that engine makes gobs of power when you slightly mess with it. It's pretty amazing. I actually just drove one recently that made 350 horsepower and 350 foot-pounds of torque in the GR Corolla with just bolt-ons. Pretty good stuff right there. But maybe share the car platform with something like a Suzuki or a Daihatsu. Now, I know you're gonna be saying, oh, but David, why can't this be 100% Toyota when the GR Corolla and the GR Yaris were 100% Toyota? Well, for reference, it's to keep costs down in manufacturing. Research and development is so expensive, and this is why they justify partnering with other brands and other manufacturers to keep costs down for the end product. I used to be so against them partnering with BMW for the Supra. Like, I absolutely hated the idea, to be honest with you. But nowadays, especially with the manual Mark V Supra, it's a closed deck inline 6. It feels a lot like the Mark IV Supra when you drive the manual, and it's a ton of fun to drive. At the end of the day, you eventually just go, it's a good car. It's fun to drive. It's insanely fast when you do upgrades to it. I'm a child of the 90s, so I was a Mark IV Supra stan, like most of us who watch this channel. But now I've begun to kind of understand more of the business side of things and go, all right, I kind of understand why they did it. Would have I liked Toyota to do their own inline 6? Yeah, absolutely, with Yamaha or somebody. But then you go, wait a minute, they partnered with Yamaha for the 2J. So does that make me hypocritical? Now I'm going on all these ADHD freaking tangents, man. This is a tool in Toyota's toolbox. They have mastered the art of partnering with other manufacturers and other brands and stay friends with them. So it's good to have these other partners with all these other resources and combine their efforts. It makes sense. Another example, the GR86. It's a way better version of what the FRS, BRZ, and GT86 was. Bar none. It's a much better car to drive. It's a ton of fun to goof around in, and I highly considered buying one for a very long time, but I love self-punishment and decide to fix my project cars instead. The perfect world, I could just be having the time of my life in a GR86, going to drift events and track events all the time and be basically bone stock. Shoot, I connected the entire track at my local drift event in a bone stock GR86 with Michelin PS4S's on it. Crazy. This also makes me go, well, is this car necessary? Which sounds completely against me, who gets super stoked for any car company to build another sports car. It's what I love. They're my favorite things. Car companies building new sports cars is what I want. But do they need this new car in the United States at this moment? I don't really think so, because the GR86 is pretty much a hard-topped version of a Miata Hunter in a lot of ways. Feels torquier than the Miata. It's a little bit goofier than the Miata in a good way. It's fun to kind of throw around. So if the GR86 still exists in the United States, does that make me opposed to them building it here? No, obviously. But in Japan, it seems like it would make a lot of sense. I mean, look at this freaking concept. It looks like a modern K-car or a Suzuki Cappuccino. That was the very first vibe that I got from this concept car all the way 10 years ago. I'm like, yeah, it's like a new Suzuki Cappuccino, which is cool. But just because Toyota doesn't need to build it, it's not gonna stop them. They have been on an absolute roll the past 5 years with building sports cars, and I am not complaining. Toyota is one of the biggest car companies in the world for a reason. And when you look at, say, Mazda, it's not even close. Mazda is a much smaller company, and the Mazda Miata is a crown jewel of the car industry. It's one of the best sports cars ever made. It is unbelievable how good Miatas still drive to this day. But it is one of those things where you're never going to understand the Miata if you don't drive it on a curvy back road or on a track. If you're driving it on the highway or driving around town, you're probably not going to get it. And it might be the same for this car. It might be one of those things where you have to push it to the absolute limit all the time to understand the joy of driving this thing. People are gonna go, oh, well, why would I buy the lower horsepower Toyota compared to the Supra? To be completely honest with you, I would probably own the GR86 over the Mark V Supra. And that's not because I think the Mark V Supra is a bad car. I just find that the GR86, I could be dumber with it. You know what I mean? I could just go absolutely bananas in that car and not worry about it as much. But with Toyota's resources, their engineering division, all that kind of stuff, especially if they collab with another company, I have no doubt that they would be able to match the Miata's 50-50 weight distribution and what makes the Miata special. I know they could. It'd be really interesting to see how they would handle it, how they make it look, how they make it kind of feel on the inside. And especially with the weight distribution with that tiny little 3-cylinder, it would make perfect sense compared to the NA 4-cylinder engine that's in the Miata that still achieves the same goal. The Skyactiv tech in the Miata is incredibly impressive, but having that 3-cylinder turbo, it's gonna seem more appealing to a sports car enthusiast when that word turbo is on that brochure. I would definitely love to drive this thing if it comes to be. What do you guys think about the Scion SFR concept possibly coming into production? Do you think Toyota even needs this car? Put it down in the comment section below. And on that note, I typically upload on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays, and I will see you guys next time. Take it easy. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.